Hey, in this video, I'm going to answer a question that we get a lot. It's about the concept of deep scraping, where you extract a list of items and then you get details from each of those items' single pages. Let me show you the end result of what we're going to build here. So the end result is you've got a couple of robots. Robot A here gets a list of homes from Redfin. Robot B gets single property details. So this would be Robot A. As you can see, it's a list of homes from a page like this, and robot B gets details like address, price, bed, bath, square footage, etc. from a page like this. And we often see confusion around how to make this process work, how to do it in bulk, how to automate it. So first I'm going to show you how to build each of these robots. So we're going to build each one separately, 2 different robots, and then I'll show you how to bulk run so you can take that list of items and get the details from all those properties, and then we're going to automate it. So let's get building. First things first, I'm going to go to Browse AI and build a new robot. You just do that from the robots page, click on build new robot, extract structured data, and I'll just paste the link from the previous example. You'll notice down here there are pre-built robots for lots of websites. In this case, I don't want to use those because I want to train my own so I can show you how to do it. We don't need to log into this website, so I won't check that box. I'll click Start Training Robot. We're going to use Robot Studio. It's the latest and greatest. It's where all the development is happening. Browse AI began with a Chrome extension, but we recommend Robot Studio for most use cases here. So I'll click on Robot Studio. And once this page loads, I'll show you something that is also not necessarily obvious. In addition to selecting things you want to extract, you can perform some clicks before you do that. So on this particular page, I happen to prefer a different view than the default view. So before I start extracting, I'm going to click up here on List. Okay, so this looks better. I will now capture text and then from a list. So as I hover over these items, you'll see that they get highlighted. It can sometimes be a little finicky, depending on the website structure, to get it just right. But now, if I scroll down, you'll see, so this page has 40 items. So I should have this say list item 40. When I click, the robot's going to go through and scan the page to get me relevant data points for each of these items. I don't have to label them myself. Seattle homes for sale. I'm going to rename this list because it might not always be Seattle and it might not always be homes for sale. It might be for rent. So I'll just call it homes. And you can click into any of these to rename them or delete. I don't actually want this column. I will keep home description, price, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, address, key fact. Yeah, everything else looks good. I want 100 items, maximum. I'm going to choose 100. Now remember, there's 40 on the page, so I do have to make sure the pagination works so my robot can go to the next page and the page after that. So over here, how can we find the next item? In this case, the robot intelligently determined, click on next to navigate to the next page. Let's review it just to make sure. Yep, look right there. It already got that for me. So I will confirm and we're good to go. So I'll save this captured list. If I wanted to, I could capture other things or I could capture even text. Let's just do it just to show you. You can capture this text right here. Let's say I wanted to, whoopsies, just text. If I wanted to capture this so that when my robot runs, I can get this page title to know what it recorded. Page title. Okay, so now I'm done. I'll click Save Captured Text, and I'll finish recording this robot. I'll give it a name. Let's call it, I don't want to confuse it with the other ones that I called Robot A. So let's call it Robot 1, Scrape List of Homes. And I'll click Save. And then the robot is going to run on a cloud server. So it spins up a new server in the cloud. It opens Chrome. It then starts to simulate my user actions after it goes to the website that I've specified. And if you look right here, you'll see the number of list items that have been scraped so far. So 43. That's a good sign. It's gone past page 1 because there's 40 per page. 77 coming up on page 3. More than 80 will be page 3. There you go. 100 items. And you'll see the T with the 1. I captured 1 captured text here. So 1 piece of text and these 100 items. I can scan them to see how it looks. Now notice this has read more. So you don't see all the text by default, but you can click on read more if you want to make sure. This looks pretty good. So I will click yes, looks good. And let's go take a look at the table for it. So when you scrape a list of items, the main tab of your table will show you each task that is run. So in this case, this is the only one we've run. You can see it was a 100 homes limit. You can see the origin URL where I recorded. So maybe someday in the future, it's not Seattle. Maybe it's a different city. So you can see that right here. Last extracted, status is successful, 100 homes. This is where I can click to see the tab down here, homes, with the filter applied for just that task. So this is looking good. So this is robot 1. Now let's go ahead and do robot 2. Now for robot 2, I do need to train it on a single property listing. So let's just click any of these. Property link. Let's just get this one because they all have the similar structure. So I just have to choose one and then train my robot on that. So I'll go back to Browse AI, go back to my dashboard, and I'll build a new robot. Again, I'm not going to worry about monitoring. So extract structured data, paste the link to the single property. Again, pre-built robots, but I don't want those. Don't need to log in, start training robot, use Robot Studio. So again, this is robot B. This is robot 2 or robot B. This is the one that's going to get the details from the single property page. So in this case, it's not a list of items. So we're going to do things a little bit differently. So what would we want from a page like this? Let's capture text and then just text. I would say the address. I don't know if I want the whole address. Something to note, if you want specific text, sometimes if you move your mouse around, I can get the entire address, or I can get just the first part, or I can get just the last part. If I want to separate, I'll separate them. I'll do this, and I'll do this. I'll separate them out. And I'll get the price. And if you notice, when I hover over this, it says 5 beds. The box is around everything, but I just want 5. I don't want the word beds. So you just gotta move your mouse around a little bit to get the right structure here. So I want beds, I want baths, I want the square footage. This could be handy, the estimated monthly price. Let's scroll down, I'll get the about, and then each of these little bits. Now conveniently, Redfin has given me a little label down here so I can name it those things. Single family home, year it was built, square footage of the lot, price per square foot, HOA dues, and that'll be it for text, I think. But watch this. After I name this, I'm going to show you something cool. So let's call it address 1, address 2. You do have to go through and name these items compared to lists where we kind of do that for you automatically. For just text, we don't have that enabled. So you got to go through and name these. Price, beds, bath, square footage, estimated monthly, monthly, about, on Redfin, I'm going to call it what Redfin calls it, conveniently, on Redfin, property type, year built, lot size, price per square footage, HOA dues. All right, so this is the captured text, and let's save that. Now, I can also get some list items. There are some lists on this page, like sales and tax history. That's pretty cool. I could capture text from a list and then get these list items. Let's say I want property history looks good. I'll say 10. 10 items is probably enough. Pagination, I'm going to say no more items to load because I happen to know that it shows a lot of items without me having to click on any button. So save captured lists. If I click on this, I believe it's a whole other page and not just showing me more on this page. And I'll choose climate risks. This is also a list. I'll capture text from a list again. And there you go. So you can see we show list item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. View full report shows up, seems like after 5. So I can choose to maybe do 5 items as the max if I want. All right, call that risk factors. Looks good. Pagination, again, I'm going to choose none because I don't need to click into anything else. I'll save this captured list, and then I'll finish recording this robot. So this will be robot 2, let's call it. Property details. So in this case, you won't see the list items as this is going through. You won't see that going up to see how many have been captured. It shouldn't even also take as long because it's just doing one page. But you can see, look at this. There actually, sorry, I lied. There were a couple of lists that I captured. So you can see 2 lists and 14 texts. Done. So yep, this looks good. All right, so now we've got robot 2 built as well. We've got robot 1 getting the list, robot 2 getting details. Now I'm going to show you how to make these two work together. One way is to use the run task page. You'll see right here, origin URL. Some people think you can only ever run it on the URL you trained it on. For pages that are a similar layout, you definitely can. So I will go, this is property details robot. I will go just grab some other URL of a different property. Let's go to robot 1, list of homes. Let's go to tables, homes, and let's just find some other address. Let's go to this one here. So I'll copy this. I'll go back to robot 2 here, and I'll just run it. So this is one way to do it. If you want to be very manual about it, you can save it as default if you want, if you know you're always going to run that, but otherwise you can just run that single task. So all I'm doing now is picking one property and saying, give me the details from that property's single page. That's great. You could do that if that's all you're interested in. You could even do it manually over and over again. Or while this is running, I will go back to robot 1 here. You can go to tables. And now that I've got 100 homes here, I can click into the homes tab and I can export a CSV. So I'll click on export right here, and then I'll download the CSV. So that's downloaded. And now I'll go back to robot 2 here. And you can bulk run tasks from the same page, but I prefer to do it, and we suggest that you do it from tables. It's a better experience. So now I'll import a CSV. You can see the last property right here, the most recent one that was run. Let's see. Yep, that's the one that I copied and pasted. Go to import the CSV that I downloaded. So you can download a sample CSV right here and fill that in, and it'll have the exact column name that you need, which is origin URL. Or because I exported robot 1, I can upload that one. Now, something's going to happen that's going to maybe freak you out if you don't know what's happening. So the origin URL is what we're looking at. And so we're thinking, oh, there's something wrong here. It's the same one over and over again. Well, that's because I didn't refine the exported CSV. All I'm doing is re-uploading and choosing a different field. So because I have the property link, I choose that. So now it's going to run robot 2 with all of these different property links. So that's the only change you have to make there. I prefer to do export, import, and change that than to download a different CSV and do some work in some other third-party app. Just have to be aware of that. So now we're going to start extracting this data, and this is what we call a bulk run, or deep scraping. It's doing a bulk run in order to deep scrape this second robot. The pages, the second level, if you will. Level 1 is the list. Level 2 is one deeper, which is the individual pages. So we've performed deep scraping by doing a bulk run. And in a moment, I'll show you how to automate this process using a workflow. So as you scroll down here, you'll see these are all queued up. So it's going to do 100 of them. So these are successful. These are in progress. This is going to take a bit. And if you go to history, you'll see that it's a bulk run, and you can see the percentage completion here. So while this is running, I'll actually show you how to build a workflow. So we did all of that manually, but what if you wanted to say when robot A or robot 1 runs, you automatically want the second one to scrape each property. So I'll say robot 1 is the starter robot. You can see all the output columns here. I'll go next step. Robot B is going to be robot 2 here. Now it's saying, what is the origin URL? What's the URL that this second robot needs to use? Well, it's property link. Turns out there's only one. So it's very, very easy and obvious. You have to make sure you do capture that though from the first robot. Property history limit, I'll keep at 10. Risk factors limit, I'll keep at 5. This looks good. Now I choose when do I want this to run? When do I want the second robot to do its thing? Always. Only if robot A finds changes. Only if robot A finds new items. Only if robot A finds new or changed items. I'll just click always for the sake of this demo, and I'll save and enable the workflow. So now what this means is when the first robot runs, the next robot will do its thing automatically. I won't have to do the export import. Let's check in on the robot we just built here to see how that bulk run's going. Nope, that's not the one. That's the one. Property details, history. Okay, so 59%. So we can go into tables here and see. You can add a filter if you want. And then bulk run name is, there's only one. So I'll click on it, apply it. So now I can see what's happening. These are all successful. So how cool is that? Already the bulk run is pretty darn convenient. I didn't have to do any of that manually. I built a couple robots, said, hey, take all these and script them. And it's happening. So now let's wait for this to finish. Let's see, how long do we have here? 75%. Let's wait for this to finish. And then in the meantime, let's go get maybe like a different city. Let's do Portland. So I'll click this link here, Portland, and I'll do a whole different scrape to make the workflow run. So you can tell the difference. So it doesn't all look like it's the same as what we've already got in Robots 2 here. So I can do that while this is running. I don't need to wait for this. You don't need to wait for one thing to finish before starting another one. So now I will go here and just run this individual task, which will then go and get these homes from the page. And when that happens, I'll just actually go to Robot 2 right now, go to history. So you can see this one's done. That's cool. So the first bulk run is done. And I'll just refresh this page a couple times. It is going to take a second to go get all those homes and then run the workflow. But I want to show you real time that it's not a large amount of time. There we go. Look at that. That wasn't so bad. That was like what, 20, 25 seconds? So now the workflow has made this happen. The second robot is running, and let's click into it and see what it is doing. URLs, Portland. So how cool is that? The workflow made it happen automatically. And the last piece of this I'll show you is not only do you have Robot 2 running automatically as Robot 1 does, but what if I don't want to manually run the first robot? What if I don't want to do the copy paste thing I just did? Well, you can build a monitor. So I can go to Robot 1, click on Monitor, and then let's say I want to, what else? Where else could I look? Boston. So I could monitor all those 3 cities if I wanted to. So let's say every day of the week around, noon, my time zone, I'm going to do Seattle, get 100 homes. So we'll call this Seattle. It shows Seattle because that's my default URL that I trained it on. I don't want these email notifications, and we'll click save. And I'll make another monitor, and I'll call this one Boston, because that's what's in my clipboard. Boston. I'll do every day as well. Let's say I want this one at 11 a.m. my local time. I'll get 100 items. Don't want notifications, and we'll save it. So now every day this will automatically check all the listings in Boston and all the listings in Seattle. And because I did select in my workflow to always keep going on to the second robots, I'm going to get it run every time. But I could choose to change it to only if there's new items. So only if there's something new do I want you to go scrape the details. I don't want the details over and over again. Update workflow. So there you have it. So to review this pretty in-depth tutorial, what we did was we went to a page on Redfin that has a list of homes. We built a robot to scrape it. We built a robot to then scrape the details from a single property page. We did a bulk run manually. We then created a workflow. We kicked off robot 1 manually, the workflow ran, and then we built a monitor to make robot 1 run on its own. And the last piece that I won't show you in depth, but let's say you now wanted these property details to go into a third-party app, like Google Sheets or Airtable, or using Zapier, Pabbly, or Make. You could send it to any number of apps. You can also use webhooks if you wanted. So now you could send all that somewhere else, and someone else could just view that data instead of having access to any of this. They don't even need to know how you got it there. So hopefully that's been helpful in teaching you how to do deep scraping with bulk run and sending it to other apps as well and creating a workflow. All right, see you in the next one.